Hello, everyone. This is Eric Lehman, and I am the founder of the Game Changer Movement. And welcome to our Cyber Monday edition of the Game Changer Movement virtual living room. Soon to be joining me will be Antika Lisha, and I'm so happy that I got a chance to meet her in the non-virtual space last week, where we were able to share a seat virtually by sitting next to each other in real life. And this week I'm back. Still, my head and heart are in Alaska time, but my body is currently in Eastern Standard Time. So with that said, I just wanted to share a few updates before everyone else starts showing up. It was a really exciting, vibrant week in the world of the Game Changer Movement last week. And, we have a few new allies and supporters, and I've been speaking with people who are doing extensive research on screen addiction and parents who are doing noble, amazing deeds by creating 30-day screen-free fasts and blogging to tell about it, and sharing amazing family results as their family life unfolds together. So welcome, Antika. I've just been kind of saying hi with a few updates and
get rid of my
sharing that my heart and my I don't know, mind are still in Alaska time, but that my body is actually in Eastern Standard Time. So trying to figure out what this world really is.
All of me is still in Alaska
and just
time.
Sharing about
the
week of different conversations that have been had. So I feel like today's topic is all about going from Black Friday to Giving Tuesday, and where does the Game Changer Movement fit in, and what are the trials and tribulations of parents, and Antika and I are both parents, and it's time to shift how presents happen, at the very local micro level, and impact, global change by doing that. So, and having spent Black Friday in Alaska with you, it's just I think we did Black Friday a little differently than the rest of the world. So I think it would be fun to share what that looks like for you, or what it looked like for you, and take it from there.
We did some exciting things. One thing that
I don't have any audio on you.
You don't have any audio on me.
You look marvelous.
No audio. All right. Do you have audio there?
I can read lips.
Nice. Audio here.
Do you want to go out and come back in again and try that?
Yeah, hold on. Bye.
So I'll share a little bit about Black Friday and just kind of what it has meant to me. And I feel like when I was sort of in a past life as a pharmaceutical rep, I can't say that I woke up for Black Friday, but I was definitely in the commercialized understanding of holidays. And since then I've definitely shifted.
Can you hear me now?
Yay! It works. So, yeah, take two. So what's Black Friday for you, Antika?
It's a day to stay out of the stores. So I can hear myself twice now. I don't really have any major political views on Black Friday or not Black Friday. I think that getting great deals is a great thing, and but I'm not a crowd person. I'm a concert person. I'm big group kind of person. but I'm not like a rushing through the store chaos kind of person. That doesn't call to me. Going to Walmart doesn't call to me. So my big, I've never had a desire to do Black Friday. I've never done Black Friday. It's just not something that I participate in. I'm not much of a shopper. So my thought for Black Friday this year was we had to, Eric and I here, because he was up here, we needed to get a piece of business done. And so we went up and just solidified some paperwork, because we are a nonprofit and we are planning on doing some major, incredible things, as hopefully you know, and if you've been following the movement and joining the game here with us, we're really putting together the retreats and the contests and the plan to have a finished game in hand to give to children who are trading in their violent video games, or parents who are trading in their violent video games, by the end of next year, and also have a large celebration around this and have retreats. So those retreats cost money. So we went to do some paperwork around that, really laying the foundation for us to say yes to everything that is happening to make the Game Changers movement take charge. Well, in that, since we were at a bank, like, I had to make a deposit too. And when I make a deposit, I just give thanks by tithing. And I said a little prayer, as woo-woo as that is. And I felt like I should give, the $30, which wasn't much, but the $30 to somebody in the store. So I asked Eric if he could walk around and help me find the person that I was going to help, in a little way, pay their bill. And we walked down the aisles in front of the cash registers, and there was just one woman who stood out with a baby, and I just went up and I asked the cashier to apply the $30 towards her bill, and I turned around and walked away. And that was pretty much my major spending on Black Friday. I helped somebody else spend money.
Yeah. And then, I feel like, giving sort of also attracts asking, and so, like, no sooner does that happen than, we were in the parking lot and someone comes up and asks for, spare change. So I just feel like that's the flow of what the Game Changer movement is really about. And I'm so honored to be in it with you. And, because I think giving and paying forward is really what this is all about. And I mean, truth be told, none of our kids, our collective 5 children, play violent video games. And yet we are still, 100% in this giving movement. And so this is truly, the time to sort of reparent all of our kids and to allow them to know that we are making something with them, and it's going to be better, and the first way it's going to be better is it's going to be theirs, their creation. So I'm excited about all of that. And I feel like, we have this really interesting US tradition of, as they say on Facebook, like, it's just really kind of interesting that, we have Thanksgiving, which is, being grateful for all that we already have. And then the next day is Black Friday, which is kind of going out and getting all that we don't yet have and living into expectations. And then I guess in my community, and I think it's trying to become a national day, is like Small Business Saturday, where instead of going to the box stores, we buy from local businesses that we get to keep afloat with our giving. And this is where, like, the Game Changer movement is in that mid space between, Black Friday and Small Business Saturday. And I feel like, what we in this particular year want from people is to make sure that their gift buying experience this year does not include a violent video game or even a video game, and sort of the idea to give our values in how we make contributions. And so, creating the campaign and the campaign video that we created up in Alaska together, it's, what we're asking for is for people to spend the $60 that they may have spent on a video game or violent video game and make a contribution to the Game Changer movement. So I'm just boldly putting that out there. What I was taught as a kid is that we vote with our dollar, and whenever we spend money, even if there's tremendous pressure from our kids to be the hero, right? To show up with the present that they want, they put on their lists, and you checked it twice and whatever. When you vote with your dollar and you contribute to the economies of companies that are putting out this sort of material, you're also making a choice against, voting with your dollar, for doing what we're doing. So
another cool thing with it too, though, that you can put underneath the tree is, you can give and not be a part of the contest. You can be a part of the contest and not necessarily give, but to say, hey, I donated $60 to this amazing organization that is working with the youth. And, I tell your kids about how instead of buying them a video game, you're going to, now they get to be a part of a contest to submit their best ideas or their best artwork or their best coding, and they might be able to actually be on the team of creators, or they'll definitely be automatically in the team of people that vote on what we actually move forward with, because we need a team of voters, a community. We'd love 100,000 community members, kids or more, to vote on, our top 50 picks for the best idea coming up in December. So December 14th on, we're going to be through, probably for about a month, we're going to be taking on these ideas from kids. Then we'll be voting on them ourselves and kind of picking out the best ones. And we want to put the best ones out there to the community of youth again to vote and say, these are our top ones, and pick the top game or two to actually create, and then have the top 10 come and work with us. So this is the plan. It's still solidifying and we're figuring out all the numbers and details, but to start this process, you could gift $60, have the receipt saying this is what you did with the money, and they're going to be a part of building a game now. And they'll be on the email list and on the communications list and be able to really get involved in the youth community of the Game Changers movement. And that is just, I think that would be a super cool gift. I know that my kids think that that is a super, super cool gift too. Mm-hmm. They're really excited to be involved in the process and want to know how they can do that. And I know, Eric, your kids are giving you ideas and stuff too. And then you've talked to a lot more youth in the area as well. So, I kind of went on a tangent there, but that's what we want to do. It's a good gift underneath the tree.
Yeah. And I feel like, this is not a novel concept, the idea of giving, opening an envelope and seeing a gift receipt, but not like a gift receipt of something that you can return to a store, but what the financial energy that, an impact you're creating in the world. My folks used to donate generously to the Heifer Project, and every once in a while they would do something called like buying Noah's Ark, and it was just really awesome to like, see an envelope with a receipt that said like, we bought a pair of, breeding cows to help a community revitalize itself, through agriculture. And so like, this is really what we're doing is we are, creating impact and paying it forward all in the same breath. So like what we want to do is have you spend the $60 this year for a game next year, and that's really our commitment is, when the gaming community gets together, it makes things happen in days that used to take years. And that's the law of exponential technology. When things go digital and viral, which this movement has every reason to go viral because it affects the core of every part of our next generation. The statistics that we were throwing out in the video are just growing, so there's two main statistics. One is that kids are spending 10,000 hours between birth and age 21 in the gaming space. And currently 89% of those games are containing some aspect of violence. And that is what we're here to shift. We are going to redirect the content, because we now know that it would be a Herculean task to get any one child, let alone a million youth, off of gaming itself. So what we want to do is meet kids exactly where they are, and also give parents the break that they so deeply want. But instead of having parents torn, saying, "Well, why don't you go play that video game for another 2 hours while I finish my work day?" Taking my work home with me and shifting our quality family time. There's sort of this guilt that goes along with that, because like we're saying, go play that game that is like tearing into your heart, that's desensitizing you to what really matters in the world. And part of it is because they're, the choices that are most promoted are most violent, and those are the ones that get the most dollars and the most marketing dollars to. And if you look at the visual that launched this blab, you'll see a picture of one of the pieces of art that we created, the first piece of art that we created with the Game Changer movement, on a stairwell that in Port Authority subway station. So the stairwell was promoting Call of Duty, with machine guns, and every single column in Port Authority was a person, a man with a machine gun. And it was eerie. It was an eerie, spectacle. Like that was a year ago, Call of Duty with, Kevin Spacey as one of the actors, who's also in the movie Pay It Forward, who also has a youth charity, it's a very interesting walk that we're walking right now. So, I just feel like we're getting a lot of, side chats going great, and so, I just feel that, so he, like the title of this blab was going from, Black Friday to Giving Tuesday. And I don't know how many people understand what Giving Tuesday really is. So here we are in Cyber Monday, right? Which is when people come home, right? And they spend their money on Walmart.com or whatever, Amazon.com, instead of, going out into stores. And then tomorrow is something called Giving Tuesday, which was started through the United Nations, actually, the United Nations Foundation. And we have the opportunity to become a Giving Tuesday organization. So I will do my very best to get our campaign information into those, I don't know, buckets, so that they can be promoted as well as possible. So I don't know. I feel like, the season of giving is, it's sort of taken on its own energy. And I feel like one of the opportunities we have is to redirect that energy and to purify it in a way and to bring this back. So what are your feelings on that?
Well, what's coming up for me is, giving happens in so many different ways. And yes, like we need money to pay people to host the events, to get the kids out here. We need a lot of money to do this. But, if you have a partnership with somebody, maybe you work for a company that would provide us supplies. Maybe you know somebody who works for a company that gives miles so we can fly the kids out. Maybe you know somebody who helps with different campaigns and you want to donate your time. Maybe you're a social media expert and you want to donate your time. These things, it's really a worldwide issue. And it's really a worldwide event. We have a partner in Brussels, Carol, who's usually here or here sometimes. And there's so many different ways to give, and you can still follow the link to give and get in touch with us. And we would love to hear from you. If you would like to, I was just thinking this morning as I was dropping off my daughter at school, I was thinking about, she has this leadership class, right? And she absolutely loves leadership. And one reason why she gets up in the morning is so she can get to this leadership class. And I'm thinking, well, wouldn't it be cool? Like, why don't I go in and be like, hey, I have this community, and in your leadership class, we can do a campaign, we can do something, we can do a giving event in the schools. So if you're a mother who are behind this and you want to become a part of it, or a teacher and you want to become a part of this and you want to help us grow it larger by hosting an event in your school or joining in a different way, like, we're open to that. And we'd really like you to give however your heart feels called to give financially, of course, as well as if you have resources and tools like that, we want you to be in touch with us. So you can join us on Facebook. That's an easy way. Our names are right here. You can message us here. You can go through the website. The tiny URL is over there, the tiny bit in the messages, as well as you can just go to Game Changer Movement, Changer just movement.com, and that will lead you to our campaign as well. And you'll find a ton of information about us, about the movement, about Eric. And then on Facebook, it is the Game Changers Experience. So facebook.com/Game Changers Experience, and sharing our page, sharing the cause, sharing this blab. All of that is huge giving as we go into Tuesday. So say you don't have $60 extra to give. Some of us don't. Well, then awesome. Do you have 100 friends on Facebook that you're willing to share this with and brag it up to? Maybe they have a giving piece. Do you have a company or a cause that you think that would love to support us? As a nonprofit, we can say yes to those corporate gifts, and we're willing to. So, I guess my point, Eric, is that there's just, giving doesn't have to happen in one single box, and we can really open ourselves up, and we have been opening ourselves up to expanding that box and accepting the flow, however it comes in. So if you're watching this and you feel inspired, please reach out and just, share with us how you want to give or how you can offer. And we're just so grateful. We're full of gratitude for that, because this movement, this motion is, or mission, this mission is in motion, and we need a lot of resources in order to have it happen. One cool thing that is happening right now for the giving, though, is we have a corporate match happening. So Eric, will you talk a little bit about the corporate match that's happening right now for people that do want to give, because it's like double?
Yeah. So I mean, basically, when you come up with your $60 gift, or maybe even it's a $30 gift and it gets matched and turns into 60. So up
or
to $5,000. Right. Yeah. So, and it can go in any direction. And basically the idea is that we've been incentivized by a group of anonymous donors who want to leverage their impact, to increase the impact of their giving by inspiring more giving. So as your giving increases, you will see the days or the week's contributions doubled, up to $5,000. So, and I guess the beautiful part of that is once 5,000 doubles into 10, then we will, really feel blessed with the, hitting a threshold where we can schedule with confidence our first retreat. And that is going to happen in the first quarter of 2016. And we need those resources in order to feel the confidence and the blessing of, the universe, the world, to have this happen. And the other thing that we're doing is we're about to create something called the Thunderclap. So you can, as you engage with us, you can literally donate your influence to a specific moment that we're creating. And we're going to create this moment hopefully around December 14th, which will be the 3-year anniversary of the shootings at Sandy Hook Elementary School. And the way the Thunderclap works is that, if we hit a certain threshold, when we hit a certain threshold of support, when people literally donate their influence, whether it's their Twitter following or their Facebook friends or, other Tumblr, like lots of different, social media outlets, it aggregates all of those numbers and those networks into one big, what they call Thunderclap, when literally one post goes out to every single person who is part of that influence. So it's, I feel like that this is part of like Web 3.0, where, now like aggregating sites are happening. And this is really exciting because it just, when something good is happening in the world, it gets to amplify, to all the corners of the world in one magic moment. Yeah. And so we're excited about that. We're going to dive into that this week. And so, gifts happen in all shapes and sizes. There's no gift that's too small, and there's definitely no gift that's too big, because it's, this is a global movement that started in Ithaca, New York, out of a few meditations, and the world, we feel, is ready for it. So I feel like we're getting towards the half-hour moment. I don't know if there are any questions out there in the chat room that we haven't yet addressed, but we're really excited. There's been so much great energy. Antica presented at Toastmasters last week, and, there was a barrage of questions afterwards. And so, anything from school teachers to like different people who were engaged at different levels, there's all sorts of concern. And it's almost like the big elephant in the room, like that nobody really wants to talk about, because until now, there hasn't been an alternative. And so what we feel really enlivened by is that we are creating an alternative. And like, maybe there have been alternatives, but there's been no alternatives created with a community of youth. And I feel like just to get back to like our mission is to like let kids continue to be the first person in the rest of their lives. And that's really what we are about. And, so like, there's this category of games called the first person shooter game. And most people are talking about the shooting, but we want to get back to the first person. And I think that's the take home message. And that's, what it means to be the first person when you give, Antica gave to a person, on Black Friday. There was some anonymity, but there was also some direct like connection. And
access.
Yeah, because you were there.
You could see me.
Yeah, but it wasn't like there was a name exchange or anything other than that. But when you give here, you are creating significance, and you are saying that you want our kids to be the first person in their own lives. And instead of being the first person in just the virtual lives, and I think that's really the differentiating factor in this, is like, we are unlike any other organization and movement out there, because we really need to create a community of 1 million youth, at least 1 million youth, in order to stem the tide and to create the critical mass that will cause the shift. And then EA Sports and all these other game producers will get the message, because they'll see their spreadsheets, they'll be scratching their heads like, what just happened? And
because there's no reason why they can't have amazing graphics doing absolutely cool things that don't involve a gun.
Right.
Let's go skydiving. Come on.
Sure.
Let's jump out of a plane. Let's fly a plane. I don't know.
Right.
There can be these amazing graphics that everybody talks about, that everybody loves in games that don't involve killing or a gun.
Right. And the truth is, for-profit companies are there to make a profit, and they're welcome to make games that are compatible with the platform we're creating. And we will be, creating a new rating system to determine what makes a game changer game a game changer game, even if it isn't created by us.
Yeah.
So, that's another exciting next wave of this, because
there's a few waves we have involved. So this is not just a one-stop deal. This is an organization. We are an organization that you can step up and get involved with and stick around with, and help us work with the youth, as well as cultivate some really, really amazing ideas that we have brewing, that Eric has come up with, on all levels of games. So, but
yeah,
I have to go. So
understood.
I'm just going to say goodbye to everybody, and thank you, Eric, for everything that you do.
Sure, and thank you for joining in lockstep along the way. This is awesome.
Awesome.
So I'll probably say a few more words just to wrap up, and then, so just, in full gratitude, we are almost at December. We are in the season of giving, and it's time. The world is ready for the shift that we are holding the space for, because at some point really soon, I want my voice to kind of drop back, and to have the voice of youth start taking over some of these more visible campaigns and these more visible outlets. So if you are a youth watching this, please reach out to us. If you are a parent with a budding gamer or coder or designer or graphic artist, please connect with us, because it's time. We're doing this, and it's near and dear to my heart. It's what I know I'm here to do. And Tika has been amazing, and she's got a lot on her plate, and she is diving into this with me. And we've got a partner in Brussels that is diving in, and there's room at the table. So if this inspires you to tap into something that you've been feeling, and that you want to contribute, time, treasure, or talent to, we're here, and we would love to open to receiving and collaborating with all of it, and especially holding a deep space for youth. It's time, and we're doing it. So thank you so much. We'll talk to you next week, and maybe even before then. All righty, bye-bye.